What's up, tribe? How you guys doing this evening? This is going to be your star review, season 3, episode 2. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. So, first of all, Carlotta Ass is sleeping at the studio. You know, the studio where her and High Yield did their first music together and everything. She is sleeping in the studio, talking to High Yield Ass every night. So, that's certainly going to be an issue later on down the line. She's grieving, you understand, but that's how she's grieving, by talking to him every night and sleeping in the studio. Can't be healthy, and it's going to catch up at some point. We see that Ricky back, little Ricky, the one that Brandy was really, Cassie was really trying to kill. He's back. Come to find out, Carlotta has sent his ass up to Philadelphia and had some people looking out for him. But he was like, man, I'm tired of hiding, man. I ain't no bitch, man. I'm tired of, I'm tired of hiding. She was like, look, what you not understanding is I'm trying to save your life. And he was like, well, I got some money. I can get some money together and save some. He was like, you not understand. It's not about money anymore. It's about her street cred. It's about her reputation. And she lived by the streets. So at the end of the day, you got to die. Especially since she killed somebody else trying to kill you. Like, even if you thought you could talk your way out of it before, once she killed Hayel, it's a done deal and it's a wrap. And so she said, look, you just keep your ass here till I figure something out. Because he was like, you can't talk to her. He was like, hell, she was like, hell no, I can't talk to her. She ain't going to listen to me. She said, it's a street, it's just a street thing. And he was like, well, you still alive? She said, we family. She was like, she know I ain't going to snitch. Like, hell, I can't even tell Cotton what's going on. And that's her, that was her daddy. So, we see that. And then Carlotta goes with Star to her baby appointment. She's getting a sonogram. She wanted Simone to come, but Simone is still feeling some kind of way about the whole Star being pregnant piece, and she wasn't there. And while they're there, the new head of the label calls, and he was like, look, I need your girls in the studio like yesterday. We got this new movie project that we're doing. I want them to do the soundtrack, and I want Star to play the lead role. Her and Noah are gonna be lead role. It's the name of the movie is called Black Ivy, and I'm assuming that, well, I'll get to that because the way it's described later on, we'll get to that later. And Carlotta's like, what are you talking about? She was like, they about to work on their album for me. Like, they don't have time to be doing no soundtracks. He was like, yeah, that's the way things work. Remember, this is not Midtown Sound anymore, and this how we about to do this. So I need them in the studio. Get your girls together. And of course, Carlotta tried to talk back and try to play bad, but at the end of the day, that's your fucking boss. Like, what you gonna do? So then we see him and his wife at the house. Remember, they had their little play date the night before. She didn't want to play. The wife went on upstairs and went to bed, but the girls are still there. She was like, what's up with this? Like, we don't do sleepovers. What they still doing here? Oh, I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. And she was like, all right, then, well, I'm about to go into the studio in 10 minutes, and I got my car coming around. He was like, well, no, let me call the car for you. She was like, no, I already took care of it, and I'm driving. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, the wife, because I feel like she did what she had to do and played the game to get into the position that she's in now. And now she's married to this mogul, and I feel like she's ready to make moves. That doesn't mean that I don't think she loves her husband or whatever, but I think that she's ready to make some moves. Like the fact that she wasn't even tripping over him having a threesome without her. And even the next morning, she came downstairs and was just like, what's up with this? They need to, like, she ain't throw no fit. She ain't had no attitude. I feel like she got an agenda. And we see later on that Simone sees her at the studio, and Simone is like, basically, I'm sorry about what happened the other night. I hope it's not going to complicate things. She was like, look, ain't nothing happened. She was like, you were drunk. You threw up all over your dress. I put it in the washing machine. We're good. And she was like, oh, gosh, I'm so sorry, But then she did kind of flirt with her a little bit and was like, I forgot what she said, but basically some flirt shit to let her know, I'm down for it, but it ain't nothing happened last night. Okay, cool. All right, so back to Cassie and Maurice. They plotting on Carlotta. Come to find out, Brandy wants, well, more Cassie, whatever. And she looks good. I like her hair. She's got like look like she's got the twist out curls or whatever. I don't know hairdresser terms. It's cute though. Shit, it's cute. Um, she she wants to steal some. She wants to. They're starting their own record label, and they're going to kind of do pretty much an all digital platform. Like they're not trying to have a big company. They're going to really go the route of online sales and upstream music and all that other stuff. I'm streaming music. I say upstream, and she wants Noah. Because she wants to really hurt Carlotta. She wants to go after one of her big artists, and she really wants Noah. And Maurice was like, well, Noah ain't really fucking with me right now, so I don't know if that's going to work. And, Cassie was like, okay, well, make it happen. Like, I don't care if he mad at you. Apologize and make that shit happen, because this is what I want. Maurice was like, oh, shit. Like, all right. And, she kind of got bucked with Maurice a little bit. Maurice was like, first of all, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to like that. Second of all, I'm going to see what I can do. You think she really worried about your little half-ass buck back? She ain't tripping off that. Cassie hood. So we back at the studio. We see that the girls I'm sorry, before we get there, we saw where Alex was with old boy, and they were at the grandmother's house. Remember in last week's episode, the grandma got raped. And I mean, I'm glad they didn't really show any of it, but that's really what happened. And the grandma's in the background, pacing and nervous and, dealing with her, processing the situation, but not really telling them what's going on. And they're talking about, he's like, I canceled the moving truck, and she was like, yeah, it's only temporary because Carlotta's making us stay here and do this album. They just having a conversation explaining that they're going to be staying in town and everything. So Alex gets the phone call from Carlotta saying, look, I need you in the studio. We got to write some songs. And she was like, that ain't how it works. Like, you just don't order up songs. Carlotta was like, we get it. I know, but come on in here. We got to get, we need to get in the studio. And, of course, Alex was like, cool, because the faster we get in the studio, the faster we can be done and I can be out. So, when they leave, oh, boy, I forget his name. Y'all know, I got to work on my name situation. Anyway, he sees his grandmother. She got a black eye and a bruise. And he's like, yo, grandma, what's happening to you? What happened? And they don't really show all the details, but he gets it out of her, and then he ends up calling the police. And of course, she is not going to get a rape kit. She was like, I'm not doing it, and she really don't even want to fuck with it at all, which is typical of a victim, which is, don't get me on my soapbox, but this is why this whole situation with the whole Brett Kavanaugh and why she ain't come forth sooner. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Why they wait so long? Why they ain't come forth? If people really knew how many women never, ever, ever come forward who have been sexually assaulted, it would fucking blow the roof off of this place. But anyway, I'm not getting on my soapbox. I'm not going down that road. So we're back at the studio. Queen Latifah, Carlotta, when the head of the studio was telling him that he wanted Star to play the leading role in this film. And at that point, Carlotta had to let him know that she was pregnant. Like, look, that ain't gonna happen because, and I need you to keep this between us, but she's pregnant. And of course, he's pissed off about it, and he's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, are you serious? So they in the studio working on this music, and of course they fighting. They doing what they do. They at each other's throats, and they fighting and making little smart comments back and forth. Star's on her phone. All of a sudden, her Twitter feed starts blowing up. Why? Because the head of the studio then leaked it to the press that Star is pregnant. And then Carlotta had to admit to Star that she told him, and she was like, but he was supposed to keep it confidential. And Star was like, but you were supposed to keep it confidential. But she was like, look, at the end of the day, I'm still the head of this studio, and I got to make the best decisions, and I had to let him know. Like, I had to let him know. So Star's being Star. She's pissed off. She's mad, because of course everybody on the internet is calling her a tramp and a hoe and who's the daddy. Like, doing what people do when they think they're entitled to your personal fucking business. Which we all, myself included, we are not. We all like to gossip as much as the next person, but ain't nobody entitled to our motherfucking business. Anyway, so, Star ass, she got ready to throw up, and she was getting ready to go to the trash can. She stopped herself. She turned around, and she threw up all over him. I said, well, okay then, Star. Star's a mess. Y'all know she's a mess. So, Star's in her feelings. She's pissed off. She mad at the world. Now that she got Twitter coming for her, she already feeling some kind of way. Because I'm sure she's scared about having a baby. Simone ain't really feeling it. Like she's just in that moment. And the girls, even though they have a tentative reconciliation, they still not where they were. And they still don't really trust Star, you know. We see Cotton with her son, and son is dealing with some after effects of the shooting with Hayil. He's saying how he missed his grandfather, how his grandfather was his superhero because he saved his life. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. Cotton asked Star who the baby daddy is, and Star was like, whatever, I ain't telling nobody. And she was like, come on, you can tell me, like, you ain't gonna let me know, like, who the daddy, girl. Star's keeping a tight lip. I knew who the damn daddy was I mean, for the purposes of the storyline, I knew who, or at least I thought I knew who the daddy was. I knew it wasn't Noah, or at least I didn't think it was going to be Noah's baby. Noah thinks he might be the father, and Star's like, whatever, don't worry about it. You are off the hook. You ain't the daddy. And I figured it was, okay, I ain't going to tell y'all who it was. But I figured it was who they said it was. So, while they in the studio, Alex's boyfriend calls her, tells her he needs her, and tells her what happened with the grandmother. So Alex rolls out. She leaves them in the studio, and of course, she don't stop to explain to them what's going on. She just says, "I got to go. I got a situation." And so, that leaves Star and Simone, in in the studio, and of course, they doing what Star and Simone do, and the head of the label decided he was going to call a press conference to announce the new soundtrack and announce what they were going to be doing coming up. Excuse me. And I'm sorry, Alex still isn't there because she's still with the grandmother and handling that business. Stuff be happening real quick. All this happened in like a matter of a day or two, I think. They have the press conference. It's Noah, it's Star, and it's Simone. And of course, everybody want to know who the baby daddy is. Like, every time they take a question, it's about Star and that baby. And even though Noah tries to deflect, Simone tries to deflect, it all goes back to who was the father, who was the father, who was the father. So, in typical Star fashion, Star cusses all their asses out and leaves. She's like, fuck all of y'all. Y'all don't need to know who the father of my child is. Kiss my ass, and I'm out. And Simone is like, Star, you really need to chill out. Like, at the end of the day, like, this still a business. And you can't be so hot-headed. And you can't just bulldoze your way through stuff. And Star was like, you know what? You didn't have no problem with me bulldozing my way when I was getting our asses out of foster care. And when I was protecting you from mama and I was taking care of you. Like, you didn't have no problem with my bulldozing then. And I think that started making Simone think a little bit, because Simone made a comment earlier about how she didn't think Star was ready for a baby. And I think that maybe made her sort of rethink her thought process a little bit about, like, she did kind of take care of me, Not perfect, but she had my back. We see a scene with Cassie and Cotton, where she goes to Cassie talking about, I need you to help me out. Like, the police don't seem to be really trying to put no effort into finding Hayil's killer. I know you know people on the street. I know you got, street cred. Can you please help me, just bring some closure to myself and for my son? It's really bothering him. Ain't that sad that she's sitting there talking to his killer? Asking for help from the killer. That is sad. And of course, Cassie played the role and talked the talk and talked that shit and all that other stuff. So then we see Ricky done reached out to Noah to borrow money from him. Noah was like, look, man, the tour got canceled. I'm just coming up out of rehab. Like, I really ain't got it to give. My bad, bruh. But, if I can help you in any way, you let me know. He just let you know how you can help him. You said you couldn't do it. So, yeah. Alex is talking to Grandma. And mind you, really, a lot of people still don't know what's up. That's not something you go around bragging to people. And of course, the boyfriend is beside himself. He's like, who the fuck? Who would do this to an old woman? That's my grandmother. Like, I love her. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the emotions that you go through. Alex is just trying to be there for him, So Grandma pulls out a joint and she starts smoking a joint. And Alex takes it from her and takes a hit. She was like, you? She said, it's a whole lot about me you don't know. And she starts talking to him about I mean, she starts talking to her about the PTSD and about the plane crash. And she said, a girl died because they saved me first because I'm a celebrity. And the time it took them to save me, she died. And the grandmother was like, it's not your fault. And Alex kind of gave her it's not your fault either. You know what I mean? And she talked about, she said, I raised my family in this house. She said, I mourned my husband in this house. I mourned my son in this house. I raised my grandson in this house. She said, in the 35 years I lived in his house, I've never felt unsafe. And he took that away from me. And she's talking about how, they're actually talking and processing. But she actually gets him. Oh, I keep wanting to call that woman a him. She actually gets the grandmother to go down to the hospital to do a rape kit. She actually talks her into doing it, which I thought was great. Even though, by now a lot of evidence is gone because I'm sure she's taking showers and stuff, but it's just the process of anything that might still be left, any DNA under the fingernails or anything like that. So I like that. And it looks like they're bonding as well. It's unfortunate that they're bonding over this, but they're bonding. So Cotton goes to Queen Latifah for the same thing. Like, I need help finding, Hayo's killer. I need y'all to help me. The police not doing nothing. Cassie said she couldn't do nothing for me. Like, nobody act like they give a damn. So, of course, now Queen Latifah's like, that bitch did what? Like, so she roll up on Brandy and she telling Brandy, look, you stay the fuck away from Cotton. You stay away from my damn child because your ass, like, how dare you look her in her face knowing you the one that did it and you sitting there like, you just stay the fuck away from my child. And, of course, they kind of get into it. And every time Queen Latifah insults Brandy, you see that she is all that much more determined to be the demise or to cause the demise of Carlotta. I'm trying to use they names on the show. So we see, so that just encourages her to want to just, dig the knife in a little deeper. So we see, I'm sorry, I said that out of order, my bad. Cassie rolls up on Noah, trying to convince Noah to sign with her record company. And Noah was like, look, I'm really trying to make change. I'm not really trying to do that right now. And she's got a really good pitch. And she actually gets him to think about it. And he finally says, well, look, you got to run everything by Carlotta. She was like, why? And he said, because that's my manager. And I ain't doing nothing without her okay. So, of course, that's out the window. Because, y'all know she ain't going to sign off on none of that shit. And so he says, well, I got somebody that you might be interested in. Not knowing Brandy's relationship with old boy. He tells her that Ricky back in town and that, he looking for some management and he might be looking for some work. What'd he do that for, y'all? Of course, Brandy face was like, oh. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Might be interested in talking to him. I said, oh, Lord. So when Carlotta goes and confronts her, Brandy throws that back at Carlotta like, yeah. And I know you know where Ricky is, and I know you've been hiding his punk ass, but he can't hide forever. I'm going to get him. I'm like, oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. So after the press conference, Simone decided that she was going to go out for the movie role. And that's why I said that the lead of the movie sounds like that it's an orphan that's dealt with drug addiction in the family and that kind of thing. And Simone says, because first they like, Simone, you're not right for this part. She was like, why not? She was like, I am her. Like, I am this character. And she, went down the line of all the reasons why she's prepared or she's qualified to do this movie role. And it looks like she's going to get it. Like, I think she did a good job of selling herself to them and letting them know that, this was her. Like, she could do this. So the girls are in the studio and they all, doing the woe is me. Star's like pissed off because everybody worried about who her baby daddy is. Simone, she's all woe is me because y'all know she got the whole situation going on with Angel and then trying to do her thing with the movie project. Then we had Alex, who's dealing with the PTSD, and how everybody still got her on this pedestal, like she's such a this big celebrity or whatever, but how she feels a lot of guilt behind it. And Carlotta was like, do what y'all always do, put it in your music, make a song out of it, you know. And so they make this song, and they, you know, of course they do a little video montage, but they make this song where basically I like some of the song, you know what I'm saying, where they basically talking about all the rumors and all the things that are being said about them and how, you know, like, fuck that. And Star actually talked a little bit of shit about who her baby daddy is, and she was like, basically, I'm woman enough to be mommy and daddy, so don't worry about who my child father is. Like, not your business. I said, okay. And then, of course, they finally showing off her belly. You know, they got her in a little maternity outfit. She went from this to this. You know, you know, that's one thing about pregnancy. Once that belly pop, it's just be, you know, you go from a little pouch to, and that's what's happening with Star. Because at the beginning of the last episode, her belly really wasn't that big. I mean, it was a little bump. But by the end of this episode, I'm like, damn. So, what's the last thing that happened? Shit. Something just happened. I forgot. Well, just look. Why don't I look at my notes? They right in my face. Oh, okay. Now I know where I left off. So, like I said, they do their little video montage and everything is cool. And then we see, now this is what I didn't understand. So y'all explain this to me, because maybe I missed something. Maybe I should have looked at the episode again. But the head of the studio was pissed off that they released this song. And I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't know why he was mad at the song being released. And Carlotta said, well, that's their first single off their new album, you know. And I know he wanted them to do the soundtrack, but my thing is they couldn't do both. Like, I don't get it. I didn't understand what the problem was or what the conflict was at that moment. Like, an artist can release more than one song. Like, I know they're supposed to be working on a song for the soundtrack. And, of course, Carlotta was like, this could be our big break. I could do, like, a Kendrick Lamar thing, what he did for Black Panther. But, again, releasing one single doesn't mean they can't get, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Y'all tell me. Oh, heartbreak. Simone is talking to Angel, and she tells Angel that not only is she not coming back to Puerto Rico, but she wants a divorce. I think she's going to regret that. I think she really loves Angel. I think she doesn't like Puerto Rico. You know, I mean, he ain't in Puerto Rico shit, because Puerto Rico's part of the United States. He's in the Dominican Republic. My bad. I'm not Donald Trump, y'all. I know that. So, I don't know. I just feel bad. So, we see this scene at the end where we see... They were trying to make us... I ain't gonna tell you. We see Star walking with the sonogram pictures in her hand. And then they cut to Noah. And they show Noah in the gym working out. And then they see Star walking up to a door. And then turning around. And then coming back. You know, like she's scared to knock on the door. And then they show Star knocking on the door. And then we see Noah coming down the steps. And when he opens up the door, you think it's gonna be Star. But it's not Star. It's his damn daddy. Now, let me tell y'all something. My man, you know, the guy that plays his dad is the same guy that plays the autistic brother on Claws. He's a hell of an actor. So, you know, he telling Noah, look, my car broke down. He said, I've been living in my car all this time until my car broke down. And, of course, Noah's like, and how is that my problem? He's talking about some nothing, I guess. And he just going to stand there. So, of course, Noah lets him in. At the end of the day, that's his father. You know, he feels some kind of way, but at the end of the day, it's his dad. And then we see the other door open where Star is standing. And guess who's on the other side of the door? The white boy from last season that was the road manager or on the road crew or whatever. And, you know, he's like, Star, what you doing here? And she was like, look, I'm sorry. You know, when we got back from tour, I just didn't know... you know, what the situation was. I mean, we were casual, but, you know, I didn't know whether I should call or whatever. He was like, look, it was what it was. I was the fling while you were on tour, and once the tour was over, you was done with me, and it is what it is. So she hands him the sonogram pictures, and he looks at them, and he's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. But he's actually happy. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But I knew that's who it was. Like, I was pretty certain. I don't know, like... For as much as they try to call Star a hoe, it couldn't have been, well, unless they were going to bring some more random storyline out of nowhere. It could have only been one of the two of them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it was Star. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I feel like they building up the storylines because this one, I mean, it had stuff going on, but it was storyline stuff. You know what I'm saying? To build up to get us where we needed to go. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.